Good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to welcome all of you to our 72nd meeting today, February 6, 2025. Little change this evening. Unfortunately, we do not have a quorum this evening, so we will not be taking any official action during the meeting, but for the benefit of the members who are here and also the benefit of the public listening at home, we're going to go forward with listening to the presentation from our staff who is here tonight to present, and a few little housekeeping areas, and Dr. Washington's going to go right into it. There you go.
Thank you, Mrs. Purcell. So good afternoon and I should say good evening and Happy New Year to the citizens of Jacksonville. We have not met officially as a committee since December, so much has happened in our community since then. But before we move along with the items for this particular meeting tonight, I would like to highlight our Christmas Decorating Contest Award. As you can see, our first place winner goes to Mr. Matthew Braceville at 411 Brunswick Drive. Our second place winner goes to Mr. Michael Ricotta of 1105 Huff Drive, and third place is to Mr. James Thompson, 115 Hills Laurel Loop in Jacksonville. So congratulations to our Christmas winners. And as you can see, the homes are being displayed. Our first place winner, second place, second place winner, followed by our third place winner. So it's never too late, citizens, to start decorating your homes for Christmas. So you have a template to go by, and to the best homeowners for this upcoming year. It seems like a special year, 2025. And hopefully everyone is going to participate in this event to be claimed the winner of the Christmas Decorating Award. So congratulations to our winners, and thank you so very much for participating. I would just like to just say to our staff, as always, Christmas staff, you never let us down. When we take a look at Riverwalk and the beautiful lights that just make it seems like a magical winter wonderland that comes alive in that part of the town, that all of our citizens as well as visitors can take part in that particular area. We just thank you for the, how shall I say it? The altruistic fortitude of going above and beyond, of making our our city looking so wonderful. Not to mention the array of lights that can be seen throughout the city as we're traveling on those 153 miles of road that the city of Jacksonville owns, as well as the North Carolina Department of Transportation. So as your council representative, I am just so delighted to be able to say that our parks, as well as our recs, go above and beyond the call of duty to make our city just look so wonderful in these festive seasons. And then to be able to have Winterfest and turning that area into an ice skating rink, and having our families, both civilians and military that lives on the base, to be able to come out and to partake in the various activities that we have going on. Not to mention the tree lighting, not to mention being able to visit with Mr. and Mrs. Santa, as well as the hot chocolate being made by the staff. Thank you, Mike Mumford, for your culinary skills. So just thank you. So just a big shout out to Mr. LaCory, you and your staff, as well as Ms. Baptist. So continue to make our city look so wonderful during Christmas.
We'll make sure we pass that along. And if I could add to this just for 1 second, this year, obviously, all those things went well. Winterfest went extremely well. At Riverwalk Park, we had over 350,000 lights down there, just to put that in perspective for you. And what I wanted to share with you during the Santa event, we had people from Lenore County, from Goldsboro, travel to come down and look at the decorations. I thought that was pretty awesome that, while we're out there, obviously we're interacting with the public, which we don't get a lot of opportunity to do that as maintenance staff, but it gave us an opportunity to do that, and it was pretty neat to know that people enjoyed what we did down there enough to drive a little bit. Now, obviously, most of them are local, but it was nice to hear them tell us, hey, we're from Lenore County, and we look forward to coming here every year.
We saw it take off on a number virally, the city's post about it. It was on all kinds of neighborhood posts inside and outside of the region. And
that's awesome.
It was nice to see it shared. And I also wanted to add to Dr. Washington's sentiment, the very severe weather that came in right after the holiday.
Yes, ma'am.
And I mean, I saw your crews out there hustling to get those city assets down and put away, so they wouldn't be ruined by the bad weather. And that's, it's fun when it's nice out and everybody's enjoying it.
Right.
They're out there in like the 30-mile-an-hour winds taking down the inflatables. And
Right.
I just thought it was just a testament to their dedication. They didn't want those assets to be spoiled.
Thank you. Thank you. And it is a laborious job because there were this year, I think, 245 pole ornaments that we put up around the city. 245 pole ornaments, 245 of anything seems like a lot. But when you look at those pole ornaments, and it's not throw them up and move or grab them and go. It takes a little time to do that. Obviously, the most important part of that is being safe. We have to be safe when we do something like that, and so we appreciate that. And our staff is awesome. Jason leads that area, and all thanks go to them and Jason and the ideas that we have down there and the growth that you've seen over on Highway 17, which is new for us. And I've said this a couple times, and I'll say it to you guys, that sign that we had up that said Happy Holidays, just to put it in perspective for you, once again, that sign was 35 foot long and 8 foot high. I know when you drive by it, it looks like it's 2 foot high and 10 foot long. It's a massive sign, but it's a pretty big endeavor to do something like that. So, thank you.
All right, so we ready to go into a presentation by the media services staff. I was excited to see this on the listing for this evening because I spent almost 2 decades working with some of these folks, and I'm delighted to hear tonight what they're going to present, not just to us here, but for the public to hear as well. So we'll turn it over to you now, Lisa and Kelsey.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I wanted Lisa here tonight and her team because it's easy for us to talk about what is important and the things we do in the city that relate to appearance and the environmental stewardship. And we have a voice. I have a voice, and our staff has a voice, but they carry our voice, kind of what you were talking about earlier, regionally, throughout the city as well as regionally, and we can't be successful promoting those things without people from media services, and really what are we saying, Lisa and her team, and we thank them immensely for that. And when I talked to Lisa about this, I wanted her to have an opportunity to kind of share how they go about doing those things and what they do for the city to push that information out and get it to the public. And I think it's important. So we're excited to have her here tonight, and thanks for being here.
Thanks, Michael, and thank you all for having us here tonight. I'm Lisa Miller, and this is Kelsey Stiglitz, and we work on the team together. We have a team of 4, and we also have a part-timer who's on a work share program with us as well, who helps out as well. So we are a small team, but we work furiously to help get the information out that we need to. And so without further ado, we'll just kind of go forward here. I wanted to start by telling you what our mission is. And one of our main missions is, as Michael kind of alluded to, is that we tell this story of your city. We tell the story of Jacksonville, and we do it in a lot of different ways. Some of our work is mainly shown internally, but mostly we're communicating with the public and trying to get the word out about things that are happening in the city in a myriad of ways. So We also want to create that opportunity for our citizens to be able to engage. We want that two-way conversation. So it's really easy for us to put that information out one way, but how will we ever know if we're, number one, reaching the folks that we want to, or that they care about what we're saying, or don't give them the opportunity to provide some feedback back to us. So we look for ways to have that two-way engagement and two-way conversation. So a few of the things that we do, and I know that because you are part of this group and just living in the city, you may have seen a lot of these things. But one of the ways we try to provide really current, relevant information to you. We don't want to there's so much information that we all receive on a daily basis from our phones, from the newspaper, from different TV stations that you're watching to. Information is coming to us in different ways. And we do have a lot to say, but we want to make sure that that message is focused for you so that we're not wasting your time, but we're making that relevant, we're making it current, and hopefully relevant to you. So it might be about construction projects that are happening. Kelsey just did a post yesterday on social media about the update for the new bridge streetscape project. They're starting to pave. They were able to start paving after they had another delay because of weather. We had that severe weather event, and it was so cold. It was one of the coldest few days on record, I think I heard, in 50 years. So people are constantly asking us, well, why are you taking so long? What's going on? And it's our role to get that information out to them. So things like construction projects or festivals, dates and details. Our next festival coming up is the Jacksonville Jamboree, and we're working on getting those messages out. But it's also just things about like our meetings here. We want people to know to tune in to the Jacksonville Environmental and Appearance Advisory Committee too, to see what our own citizens are doing to help provide that information back. Also just, day-to-day things that might happen, road closures or how to get your garbage out to the curb so that we can pick it up without spilling it all over the street, those kinds of things. And we do it in a lot of different ways. We use video, we use images, and we use content production. And content production can mean a lot of different things, but it's how we sculpt that message, how we write it to you, how we present it to you on different platforms. So we do that through print. And it might be, this is a show and tell example. Our annual calendar is a good example of one of our print items that we send out to every single citizen every year. It's the broadcast, TV broadcast. We're being broadcast on G10 TV right now. So hopefully we reach a certain part of our audience that way, or a part of our citizens that way. It's through digital signage, which you might see in between some of our meetings and programs that we put on our air, or inside of our city buildings. We have digital signage platforms through social media, and we even have digital billboards throughout the city. Kelsey can tell us how many we have.
We have 4 locations.
4 locations.
And we'll play several messages at a time. So you might see something for Jamboree. You might see something about please don't burn your yard waste. It's against the law. So we do several different messages on those billboards.
If I could comment on that with regard to what a modern solution that is with the billboards, because of the fast changing information. When we would have a missing person, or we would have something, it would take even me and the billboard company working at warp speed. It was still going to be 72 hours minimum. And the cost associated with that as well. A lot of times they would donate it or give us a severely discounted, but it didn't allow us to get the message out as quickly as we wanted to get the message out. So I'm a huge fan of the electronic billboards because it really did help with a variety of challenges.
Sure. And we've used the billboards for that specific purpose to try to find missing folks, in our community, and it's worked. through that. And then we also have an emergency messaging system called Jacksonville Connect, which our citizens can sign up for free, and they get messages about all of the other things that I've talked about, but even, which might be community messages, but also emergency messages, where it might be annoying, but you will save a life. We had a few years ago a young child who went missing in the downtown area, and it was late at night, and we sent out a call, and that child was found within an hour. So those kinds of things do work. Thank you for bringing that up.
I had a question,
Yes.
Mrs. Miller, going back to the calendar. So do we currently have any calendars left here at City Hall just in case if a citizen did not receive a calendar, or if they were traveling over the holiday weekends and it was left on their doorstep and it might have been damaged due to the weather? Do we have any available calendars left for the public to stop by City Hall to pick up a copy?
We do, and we plan for that scenario that you just said. So it is limited supply, but we do get a few thousand more, not just for that, but also because we're such a transient community, we have new people coming into the community all the time. So we are handing out those calendars because not only is it timely information throughout the year about things that are going on, but on the back it has all those important phone numbers to reach people if you need to, or just ways to reach the city. So yes, we do. Thank you.
And it also has the important meetings of all of the meetings that's happening with the Jacksonville City Council,
Absolutely.
the county commissioners, as well as our various different committees. But one other thing I would like to know is this calendar in a digital form uploaded on our city website. So just in case if you had a citizen that used to live here but now lives in another state, another town, that they wanted access to our calendar, is it available online for citizens, or even online for residents in Osceola County that may not be a citizen of Jacksonville?
It is not at this point, but
Is there a
we can surely,
possibility that we can
there's
check to see if
absolutely.
we can put it online?
Yeah, absolutely, we can do that. But our website is really a reflection of that calendar in and of itself. So we have electronic calendars, not just for city council meetings, but for citywide events, for recreation and parks, and all of the different departments and divisions. And then part of what we do is, in our planning, is that whatever we have highlighted throughout that year and whatever annually we know is coming down the pike. For instance, in April, we know it is yard waste collection month because it's spring cleaning, basically. And our sanitation folks will be out in a larger force to go ahead and collect larger amounts of yard waste. They're expecting that. So it's in our calendar. It's also on the web. And it's also in print form as well. So we carry that message and we cross-pollinate that message everywhere. But we can put it in as a PDF for somebody to download as well. That's a great idea. Thank you.
Lisa, I just wanted to comment that one of the challenges of a four-person team, communication professionals, are that just the amount of internal and external clients that you serve. I mean, you are basically at the beck and call of every department that wants to send out a message. And it's not just the internal customers, your external customers, as far as the teamwork, the relationships you have with other communications professionals, whether it's the county, tourism, the chamber, the base. I mean, it's you've really got to be able to have, we had like PIO core groups that we could quickly contact each other just to cut through some red tape if we needed an answer to something. And I just commend you guys, because the volume of work that you guys have to address, it's absolutely tremendous. And we always try to teach our other communications professionals, have your planning done in advance, have your packaging done, give them quality stuff, and they will create a quality product. And one of the things I'd like you to address is your style guide. how you can teach anybody in city government, we use this font, we use these colors, and it keeps the internal user from spending 3 hours creating something that they think is beautiful, but it doesn't follow the style guide. And makes everything look uniform.
We're a little bit of a gatekeeper for that brand, for sure. And you mentioned style guide, but it's really branding of the city. And branding means a lot of different things. It can just be visual, but it's also how you present your voice as well. And it comes in all different platforms. So we work hard to do that, obviously. We did create a style brand guide for the city. But basically, the brand is very important because we want our citizens to know that if we send out a flyer, or we have a digital billboard, or there's something that they see on G10, they know that this is an official piece of product from the city of Jacksonville, something officially from the city of Jacksonville, of course. And it doesn't always have to be that governmental style, recreation and parks, broadens that brand a little bit, or some of our other departments and divisions, depending on what that message is, but that brand is always there, and we make sure, we work really hard to make sure that all of our people adhere to it. Yeah, so, thank you. Thank you. I did want to talk a little bit about how we approach what we do for our citizens. We don't just say, hey, let's just talk about this today, or let's talk about that today. We really have done some research on what our best practices are in communication. We've touched base and researched materials that are available through the North Carolina League of Municipalities, through the UNC School of Government. And then we also look at other communities and what they're doing, other towns and cities that might be doing something similar or that are a similar demographic to ours. Just to see, it's our checks and balances to make sure that we're doing our job well, basically. So we are members of a North Carolina communicators group, and so we have a regular touchstone for that, which has really been helpful in the past, for sure, to help us, kind of unify our vision. And so our small team, we are a team of professionals. We have a background in video production, in writing, and newsprint media, that type of thing, and art, and all of, just a lot of different skill sets that kind of come to the table for what it is that we do. So we pride ourselves in knowing that those skill sets will really help us in our job. So we're working through video production. We have the broadcast PEG channel. G10 TV is a PEG channel, and if you don't know what PEG is, it stands for Public, Education, or Government. It's one of the three. We are, of course, G because we're government. And what that really means is that we have a certain license for broadcast, and we can do certain things and put certain things on our channel. So it's all of the things that we'll talk about tonight that are informational and that cover that story of the city of Jacksonville. We are not, so what makes us different from some of our commercial stations is that we do not run commercials. We do not sell items online, or on the channel. It's just a little bit different. So we have a certain standards that we have to adhere to based on FCC standards. We've just mentioned the city branding. Thank you, Beth, for bringing that up. And we also, have to have skill in running the city website. We are the gatekeeper and the manager for that, although it is a content production site where Michael can have access to update some of his pages if he wants to regarding what's happening in parks or, sanitation, recreation. All of the different departments and divisions can update as well. But we work to train them and teach them how to use that site and provide those best practices, as you said, and that guidance to make it all be unified messaging, right? And we have the social media platforms that we'll talk about in a second, and our printing and publishing. So there's a lot of different platforms that we use to get our message out, for sure. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, okay, so we know how to get our message out. And we've gotten these best practices in place, but we also need to understand who our audience is. And as we all know, we are a military community. It makes us very diverse in every way. We just picked this photo here because we thought that really kind of represented. You see young and old and different cultures here. You see military and civilians as well. And they're all having a good time at the Jacksonville Jamboree. That is a member of the 2nd Marine Division Band who came out along with the entire band to entertain everybody at the beginning of the Jamboree a few years ago, which was a lot of fun.
Lisa, you mentioned a transitional community.
Yes.
A large portion of our community are active duty military, new people every 18 months. So the messaging is, they might not know what National Night Out is. They may not know what these different festivals are. So it's, for some folks, they might be, oh, everyone knows what that is. Well, a large portion of us don't.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning that, because we do find that because of that, we recycle our messages over and over again for that new community. And we know that there's some people who have been here their entire lives and are seeing that over and over. But hopefully that helps give them a refresher, which is good. But we want to make sure that our new residents are well informed as well. So when we get back to who that audience is and who our citizens are, because our citizens are basically our audience and who we want to reach. One of our good guidance or sources of information is the U.S. Census, and in 2020, as you can see, our Onslow County population is about 213,000, and we're sitting right around 72,800. It might actually be a little bit more than that, because we know that sometimes we have a challenge with those count numbers. But some of the interesting things that we get out of our team for media is that our median age for our population is 22.8 years old. That is the youngest population in the United States. There might be one other town that is younger, but if you look at the census numbers, so we're kind of, I'm not going to say we are the youngest, but we are one of the youngest for sure. And our makeup, other than that age, our 50 and older population is only about 13%, whereas our really young under 18 is about 18%. So in that 18 to 49-year-old range, it's 80% of our population. That is also the same population that uses their mobile devices for information, and if you narrow that down even more to the 60% of our population, which is more than half of our population, that 18 to 29 demographic truly lives on their mobile devices. That really tells us where to send our messages out. We don't discount the rest of the population, though. That 50 and plus might be watching our traditional cable spectrum, right? They might be subscribing to the physical paper and have it delivered to their house every day. They might, of course, be driving through town and see things on digital billboards, or they get their utility bill in the mail because they're maybe not comfortable with paying their bills online. So every one of those places, we provide information so that we can get it out to all our ranges of people here in our town, in our city.
Please.
Yes.
That number, the population, is that also counting the base?
Does. It includes anywhere in Onslow County and in the city. So our, Dr. Washington can probably speak to this more than I can, but our city limits cut into a portion of the base.
Oh, okay.
Back in the 1990s, part of Camp Lejeune was annexed into the city. That's why Ward 1 and Ward 4 Ward 1 and Ward 4 extend out onto the base.
Okay.
I'm going to turn it over to Kelsey to talk about some of our platforms that we use. Okay. To dive in a little more.
Sure. So I'm going to talk about all the different ways, and Lisa has touched on this a little bit already, but all the different ways that we try to reach our citizens. So like we said, we're on cable television. So for those of you watching right now, we're on G10 TV. We put our messages out in our monthly utility bill. So every month when you get your water bill, and even if you do get it digitally, they actually have a way to send this out. So if you're really interested, oh my goodness, what's happening this month? You can read that in your digital bill, or you can read it in your paper bill. I still get a paper bill because I work on this, so I put it on my fridge every month. But we do placements in the newspaper, so when we have big events like our Beirut Memorial, we make sure that we pay and we get that in the newspaper and try to reach our older demographic or our younger demographic. We'll also do digital ads in the newspaper, so we're not just doing the print ads. And we also help with our newspaper ads that we're required by law to do. So whenever there's a public hearing, we help with that as well. And we did touch on the digital billboards. So that's primarily, you'll see those for our big events. But we also share some spaces with Sturgeon City, for example. We try to help promote their rentals and some of their events. We've also helped some of our other nonprofits. I believe we ran one for United Way. Whenever you see those billboards for the 5Ks that are happening in Jacksonville, we help with those as well. And then
So
of
I'm going
course,
to interrupt
yeah.
you just for a second because Kelsey is mentioning entities that are not part of the city, but they have a strong partnership with the city and a vested interest in, bettering the citizens. So we do have that group of people that we do support and partner with on a regular basis, and that includes the hospital, it includes United Way, like you said, Sturgeon City, the Sports Commission, and our veterans as well. As you can see us out in the community every year when we're helping to cover the Memorial Day observance or the Beirut Memorial observance or Veterans Day or at the Montfort Point Marine Memorial. We consider those people our partners, our neighbors, and our friends, so we truly do support them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that just brings us to the calendar. So we're all very familiar with the calendar. That is a big print project for us every year. But I think it's very valuable because we are putting the meeting dates in the hands of everybody. Everybody gets a hand-delivered calendar if you live in city limits. And we're also putting those big events and different awareness months and important messages about please don't flush your grease down the drain and things like that too. So that's a big one.
I know the calendars are delivered to residences. Are they delivered to businesses?
That is a great question. I'm not exactly sure if we do deliver them to the businesses. I know that they go to all the residents and they go to all the apartment complexes, for sure. Do you know?
I don't think we do,
Yeah.
no, but they are made available. Anyone can come in and get them at City Hall for sure. And just a side note, our firefighters are the ones that deliver the calendars every year. And they're shipped here to the city, or they're delivered here to the city. They grab them and they throw them on their trucks and they go. So this year we got to jump on the trucks with them and follow them around a little bit and take some pictures of what they do. And they really embrace it and they love it. So they're out there shaking hands and talking to people and hand delivering them wherever they can. And occasionally we've had our staff say, hey, I want a box and I want to deliver it to my own neighborhood. So we try to use this as an opportunity to really connect.
Definitely. Definitely. Okay, we are going to move on. All right, so this is where you can access some of these platforms that we're talking about. So I don't know if everybody's familiar with G10 TV is actually online as well. So even if you don't, pay for cable, you can go to g10tv.org and you can go watch us live on your laptop, on your phone, wherever it may be. And we also actually are on an app. So we're on an app called Cablecast. And you can download that to your device, to your mobile phone, to your iPhone, your iPad, whatever, and just search for G10 TV, and you will find us. And you can watch us live there on your phone, so that's pretty cool.
And the Cablecast is it works just like Hulu or Netflix or whatever, if on your smart TV, you can.
Yeah, you can find it on your smart
search
TV
in
too.
Cablecast.
So if you're
and
doing
load it into your
streaming,
computer, into your
Right.
TV
Okay.
as well.
Yeah, so we really are trying to reach everybody.
Are you still out there on YouTube?
Yes, ma'am, we are.
The places that Kelsey just talked about are the places where you can see our live broadcast.
Yeah.
YouTube, we take all of our meetings and some of our special events, and we put those out on YouTube as well. So, but that's not live.
After the fact.
And then, so our main website would be jacksonvillenc.gov. So whenever you're looking for general information, if you need to pay your water bill online, you can go to the website. If you're looking to find when's the next recreation class that I can sign up for, all of that information is on our website. And then we also have our tourism website, which is visitjacksonvillenc.com. And they focus on all the fun things to do in Jacksonville. And we're a little bit involved in that. I'm not going to say we're as heavily involved. We're hiring for a tourism manager right now, shameless plug. So we are very active in that too.
So is that a city entity or a non-city entity?
It's considered a city entity.
So they're-
It's a tourism development authority, has its own source of funding through our tours, our revenue, like Heads on Beds.
It's like a contracted service, or
Say that
is it a
again?
contracted service?
No, not, I will not say that for sure, but I don't believe so. It is, we do have a staff liaison.
Yeah.
All of the members of the authority board are appointed or selected for that board, and I believe, Dr. Washington, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that the mayor does appoint some of those members to the board, and we have staff liaison as well. I'm sorry, council liaison as well.
Yeah, I was just referencing the staff member.
Right.
That's all I was talking about.
right,
So they're hiring somebody right now, that's it.
But it has become its own entity in the sense that they can independently promote and run their website. We do kind of oversee it. So it's a little bit of there's a definite strong relationship there, but, and we provide support. But, yeah, so when you're looking at things like Oktoberfest or Jazz in the City, which just occurred this past weekend, those types of events, the Tourism Development Authority is trying to help grow. We want to bring more awareness to the greatness of our city. We want to bring people and it doesn't just have to be people from Jacksonville. You can drive from Wilmington, you can drive from Kinston or Greenville to come to our events. Or maybe you're coming in for maybe the Beirut Memorial Observance, as we mentioned before, where people will actually come from all over the country for that event. Some of them are drawing people from further away for sure. But the goal of the authority is to help nurture that type of event.
Okay. And then, so our print resources range from postcards to mailers. We have a nice little card. If you go into utility billing and meet our nice ladies over there and you say, hey, I need my Jacksonville 101 card, we make our little Jacksonville 101. So that's actually a lot like this list. So it'll have all the links for you and all the resources and all the phone numbers that you might need should you need help with any of your services in the city. So that's some of the things that we make in print. And then for our direct messaging, we've got the little Jacksonville Connect icon right there. So that again, that is our emergency call service. And you can sign up for text and email as well. So that is everybody needs to opt in to do that. We do not automatically sign you up for that. And you can get calls about weather alerts. You can get calls about public safety, right? Public safety. You sign up what you want to receive. Yeah.
And it may not, and it's not necessarily always emergency messaging. It's also community outreach as well for the things that you mentioned.
Right.
Like your workout's canceled, your event, something like that.
Right.
And there's a special number to call for that?
So you actually can sign up online, but if you call City Hall and say, I need help, We are happy to help you with this. You'll actually get me, so I'll help sign you up for sure. But
That help person.
it's jacksonvillenc.gov/connect is where we typically would send people to sign up.
And the number to City Hall is 910-938-5200.
It's super useful and effective because you can opt to get a text message and not a phone call. It's just very useful whether they're changing the date or reminding you there's no, lawn pickup.
Right, trash pickup is a huge one.
Super specific.
Yes.
But it's nice to not drive across town to go to your workout class and find out that it's canceled.
Right, absolutely.
You get a message, so they're trying to be.
And it's free. It's a free
Yes,
service.
yeah.
Right.
If you didn't say that already.
No, yeah, thank you for saying that. I missed that. All right, I think that covers the platforms, that one. And so now we're getting into social media. So we are active on quite a few social media platforms, and we're a little bit more active on some versus others, but our big ones are Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and then Nextdoor. We're on all of those. And it's City of Jacksonville, but we have a couple slides for those to show you where to go exactly.
And I'll just say, the reason that we select the social media platforms that we do is that when we go back to our demographics and we look at our population and ages and trying to reach everyone, we know that our younger demographic is more on Instagram and our older demographic is more on Facebook. So we look at those as well, and that's why we select those.
I had a quick question about how do you monitor? It's when you think about having all those platforms, it's great, but they got to be monitored because questions have to be answered, or there might be something that needs to be removed or hidden, or 5 years ago nobody would put anything negative or disparaging on a government page, and those days are gone. Now they put all kinds of things. But how do you guys approach that?
I can talk about that. Yeah, we do have a service that we use that helps to mitigate that. So social media is an open platform, and it is subject to First Amendment rights. So we want to have everybody, if we're going to open ourselves up or open up Facebook to have comments, for example, everyone should have a voice. But there are certain things that do not fall under First Amendment rights. Where it might be things like profanity or threatening language, things like that, that this social platform for us will automatically hide those comments because we know that all ages are reading what is up there, and it's on our city page, but we're doing what we legally can to make sure that it is a safe environment for people to exchange ideas. So it monitors that for us, but then we also come in, our team does, but then we also have, for instance, on our public safety page, there are several people in public safety and fire and police that can go in and monitor their specific pages. Transit has theirs, and they do the same thing. So there's a larger audience of people, probably maybe 20, I would say, altogether that we have in the city that are helping to manage that. Not just take down posts or comments that shouldn't be there, but also to answer the questions, that and do it in a timely fashion.
And it's difficult because if you have people who are hourly paid employees monitoring, they can't be monitoring it 24/7, so I was wondering how you approach that.
During emergencies, though, we do.
I know.
We really do. We work on shifts to make sure that our citizens are well informed, and especially, as we've mentioned a couple of times already, our transient community or folks that are just coming into this area. We always have people that have never experienced a hurricane.
Right.
Or may have never even seen snow, so speaking to our recent event that we had and how to drive. So we experienced a lot of accidents over the bypass, but we got the word out that the police had to shut that bypass down for the safety of others, for the safety of everyone.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right. So this slide says engagement measures, but really these figures are followers. on our Jacksonville government pages. So think of these numbers as individual people who went to Facebook and they decided, okay, they clicked a button and said, I'm going to follow you. So as they are spending their time on Facebook, as one does, they might see the Jacksonville government messaging, they might see the Jacksonville public safety messaging, and then we have the Jacksonville recreation on here. So those are 3 separate pages, and like Lisa mentioned, we do have other staff that manage these other entities. So our primary one for media services is the Jacksonville government page. So we have 42,000 people following us there. And I think some of that really does come back to our transient community. So you have people who move here and they might follow us, and we actually have people who interact with us quite often, and they tell us, well, I moved away, I miss Jacksonville so much. And you'll see it in the comments sometimes for certain events. And so, oh, I wish I could be there, things like that. And so it goes on. So we've got the 28,000 for public safety and the 21,000 people that follow recreation.
The nice thing about these numbers for us is that compared to other communities just in North Carolina, we have more followers than most other communities our size, and some even larger than ours. We could probably attribute that to the fact that we have a really young community too, and they spend all their time
absolutely.
on their phones
Absolutely.
as well. But but the fact that 42 is more than half of our population, we hope that we're on the right track, right? That we're doing a good job.
Right. All right. Okay, so that's a breakdown of our Instagram pages. So we've got 2,000 people. And you can see it's a lot less on Instagram, but we're actually newer to the Instagram platform. So I think we've had our Facebook page for over 10 years at this point, right? Yes. So that's just some figures for the government page. Jacksonville Public Safety page is active on Instagram, and then Jacksonville Recreation again. So they're both at 1,600 followers. And then that last one is our YouTube followers, our YouTube subscribers is what they call them.
And I would just say one thing, so because on Instagram we might have less followers, we work on every platform that we have to cross-promote information. So if we do a post on Instagram, we are sending people to our website to find more details. Or they can see where it's also posted on Facebook, so they might see more images because Instagram limits you to now 20 images per post.
Right.
So even though those numbers are lower, and as Kelsey said, newer, for us, we hope that they are also going to those other places for more information.
Right. Or if you're only following one, we've got it posted in both places, so that's the idea. Yep. Okay. All right, so let's talk about our website, and then I'll get into some of our social media statistics, if you will. So we looked this up for this year. We get close to 1 million, just a little over 1 million visitors to our website every year. And we have 3 million clicks every year. So think about how many people are trying to get information about the city of Jacksonville. And then
we wanted to provide examples of
Yes.
some viral things, or
Yes.
things that really had a far reach for you.
Yes, so some of those, and I'm going to show you on this next slide, actually. So these are all posts from our Facebook pages. And this first one was a quick little video that we shot as the 1-8 Marines were running in memory of the Marines that died in Beirut. And they've been doing this for the past couple years. They run through the gardens. They do 241 miles for every single Marine. So they do a full battalion run. Now this year was a little bit smaller. So we did a quick 10-second video, put it up on Facebook. It went to the Reels platform that they have. And it got 250,000 views, and it's got over 1,000 comments. And a lot of those folks are Marines that are reminiscing, or they came across it, and they've been sharing it with each other, because we still get notifications saying somebody commented on the 1-8 Marines video, which is just crazy to me. But that's this is what's important to people. I think we know that we're a military community and they really connect with that, so.
And I think what's relevant to the conversation that we're having is the fact that you can see the power of social media and you can see this power of some of the platforms that we send our messages out on, that it can have a really far reach.
And then we've got a couple other videos just for examples here. So the second one was shot by Lisa during the snowstorm, and she went out and met with a couple of our police
I
officers.
slid over there.
Yes, in the snow. And they did a quick little message about, hey, please don't drive on the roads right now. But they did that PSA, they did it in English and Spanish. So we've been trying to do more of that as well to reach everybody across the board, and that video got 36,000 views. And then that third video we did just this week. And this one's a little bit more typical for what we might see from our engagement, but that was a video about our neighborhood improvement services survey that they're running out. So we were trying to get some more responses to that, and that got 1,000 views.
But it got 1,000 views in one day.
In one day.
Yeah,
In one day. So that's the power of social media and the power of video for sure. All right. This is you.
Yeah, so we'll just talk a little bit about emergency communication. I know we don't want to take up too much of your time. How are we doing on time? Are we good?
I think you're doing all right.
Okay, we're doing good, all right. Nobody's fallen asleep, so we're doing okay. Hopefully this is all good information. I wanted to just talk to you a little bit about emergency communication, or the different styles of communication that we have. Our team is also part, when the EOC becomes active, we are also active. We are part of that EOC. So we help to provide that emergency communications before, during, and after the storm. So we're doing how to prep your house, pull in your garbage cans, do different things. Here's some safety tips for you, or how to get a preparedness kit together. We're helping that community prepare for an incident that they might not have experienced before. And then during the storm, Kelsey, we chose a slide about the weather. We don't pretend to be weather people ourselves because we can't be, but we help share the messages from our National Oceanic and Atmospheric Association. I think I said that correctly as well. And we receive that information through our Fire Chief, T.
Yes.
Tallman, which is really great. He gives us regular updates on that. So, and then after the storm, we talk about, the storm has ended, everybody can go back to normal, or what are some things that you can do to help clean up your yard or recover from that? Maybe you had some damage, that kind of thing. So we just wanted you to know that there are a variety of ways that we have to communicate. And we communicate that on all of our platforms. With an emergency situation, sometimes it's a little tricky because some of the first things that we lose is power, or we lose cable, or we might even lose our Wi-Fi at home, but we are still working to send those messages out through social media anyway, because we're at the EOC, we have some ways and means that we can get that message out. So, it's television, it's phone, it's newspaper, it's social media, it's internet, but it depends on the incident and the time. But we continually have that conversation with our citizens.
As an adjunct, as staff, they're considered critical required staff. So they have to leave their own families, their own homes, and go to the EOC, lock in to be there for however long the incident takes place, and they stay overnight. They just do the whole thing, and it's really a testament to public service that you don't say, oh, storm's coming, I'm staying home, or I'm going out of town. You have to stay and you have to work it, and that's a testament to you all.
And remind us what EOC is again.
Emergency Office of Communications. Thank you. I should have said that earlier. Thank you. Any more questions about?
And one thing I would like to add with this emergency communications, sometimes our residents may not understand that our mayor has to implement a curfew for quality of life for safety. And also sometimes our mayor will issue a state of emergency. And oftentimes what that really entails is just in case there is any type of damage that is going to be in the millions of dollars in terms of recovery, by implementing a state of emergency will qualify that city to be able to receive FEMA dollars.
So some of the messaging that you might see during that emergency communications is the preparedness. Like I said, we do include some live updates with our city leaders as they are able to join us. The mayor and our fire chief and our police chief and our city manager have in the past gotten up there to just let the public know. It's interesting, just a short video with the mayor for 30 seconds telling people to be safe and stay home can sometimes be more powerful than some of the images that we put out there. So we try to mix that message up in that way to reach, you might be more affected by an image, or you might be more affected by a video clip. So we really kind of drill it down to that type of messaging as well. And we're beyond emergency communication at this point. Did anybody else have any questions about our procedures there, or what it is that we do? Okay. So our communication is also informational. It's like the meetings that we're doing right now. It's the project update. It's our programs. It's our services. It's our day-to-day business here with the city. And there's a few visual examples there. The one on the bottom left, I think, was one we took maybe a day or two ago. We actually have a certified licensed drone operator on our team. Joshua is his name, and he will just at a moment's notice just pop out of City Hall and go out and get some really fabulous shots that kind of give you that just different perspective about a project. And this is the Newbridge Streetscape project, and you can, when you're driving by and you just see the fence and you can see stacks of equipment, you can't really tell necessarily what's going on, but this really gives you that great view. I digress just a little bit for that one, though. And then, we communicate about our special events as well, our observances and celebrations and festivals, and just kind of what's happening in the community. We spoke a little bit about tourism. We cross-pollinate those messages as well. So. And then we wanted to bring to you that we wanted to show you how we cover this committee and help spread the word about what it is you all do and what your mission is. So of course we cover your meetings. We're here tonight. The rest of our team is actually in our control room recording this and putting this out on G10. So shout out to them and their good job that they do all the time. You have your yearly event, Arbor Day, which is coming up in April. And there might be some members of the tree board committee here, I see. So you all work on that really hard every year. I think Jason just told me, he may have told you already, that we did receive our designation again for this year. Yes. So this will be our 45th year, this coming year, of receiving the Tree City Award flag, which is quite an accomplishment, and it's due to these gentlemen right here, for sure. And then we know that you have had some other recognition events and the Halloween and decor contests, so I'll just go through some of the slides here so that the public can see that. These are our meetings, which they can see right now. Here are a couple of events that y'all have really supported over the years, and we're truly proud of as well. Our staff, I want you to know, really appreciate it. But you're out there helping to bring breakfast to our staff, our public services folks, and our parks folks, for helping to make our city clean and green. And they take great pride in what they do every single day, and they surely are very thankful for what you do for them. And we help get that message out. So we'll come and take pictures, and we'll put that out on social media because we want to applaud you for your efforts as well. And here's some images from last year's Arbor Day, and I think that was at Parkwood Elementary. is where we had that, and they had a great little program. They had 3 classes, I think, just do wonderful performances for us inside their classroom, and then outside we all gathered while you all helped those students plant some trees for Arbor Day. But our team, will bring out our big remote truck so that we can help record that event and share it with the public as well. But we really applaud your efforts. I know we told you about our efforts and everything, but we want you to know that we really applaud yours as well. And then lastly, but least, I wanted to show you a couple of the stats that we had. This was the Halloween decor contest that you all helped to run this year. We all hopped on a bus and went around and saw all the different decorations throughout the city. We have done this for a few years now. We may have stopped a couple of years during COVID, but this has been going on for a while. But every single year we get more and more interaction and more competition. So you can see by our views, we had 10,000 people saw those images, and we reached 4,000 of them, and that means that they stopped and looked at the images, or they clicked, or they liked, or they interacted in some way. And more than 160 people voted on that event. And then our holiday Christmas decor actually did even better than that. So maybe we're just getting better and better at helping to provide that information, or I think probably more so that our citizens are getting better and better at decorating their houses for us. We went out again to tour the area, and some people actually came out and came and spoke to us. Dr. Washington, you were there, right? You saw there's a few of our citizens came out and said hello, and we're really excited that we were doing this event. So we had a lot of votes for that as well, and you guys saw the winners for that earlier. So thank you very much for all you do.
It seems like one time in the past, we used to recognize businesses.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, the committee had in the past the Clean and Green Award, where we would recognize a business and a residential place,
COVID
property. Each month, I think it was.
Yes, it was.
Right. Do you remember that, Michael? Yeah.
I
that we
think
did
you're
that.
referring to the Yard of the Month.
I'm sorry, Yard of the Month. Thank you.
I think
Thank
that's
you.
up probably around, I don't think we've done Yard of the Month.
Since COVID.
For a long time.
Well, I think it's
For a
been
long time.
15 years.
Well, that might be something the committee.
Even just quarterly, because I know a lot of the businesses do work hard on the appearance of their business and how their building looks, how their parking lot looks, as well as residential customers who take great pride in their yards, and I think it's fun to see it.
Well, we know that we've talked to y'all a lot, but there's also some folks at home, and we hope we're reaching some folks. So we just wanted to close out by just showing you some specific places where to go to get the information from the city and see what's going on. And Kelsey will close us out.
So again, we are on G10 TV, Jacksonville Onslow Government Channel. So that's cable TV. That is g10tv.org online, and then the Cablecast app, which is available on your phone as well as on your smart TV. So please, when you're looking for updates and things with the city, please check us out. So this is just another little plug for our website. So sanitation schedules, paying your bill, looking for a job, or maybe you're sending a job to somebody, or you can even file an online police report. So that is jacksonvillenc.gov. That's our main website. It's got lots of good information on there. And one of our big print products is our monthly utility bill. So each month when that bill comes in the mail and it says City of Jacksonville, please don't throw that away. You probably want to know how much you're paying for your water and sewer, so you can find that information. You can also find upcoming events. You can find the upcoming meeting dates, as well as some updates on your city council. And if there's any sanitation schedule changes, we make sure that that's in there as well. All right, and so here's just our social media handles. We start with YouTube, so you can find us under jacksonvillenc.gov. And then on Facebook, we are Jacksonville, North Carolina Government. If you're looking for police information, you can go to Jacksonville Public Safety. And if you're looking for recreation and parks, so that's not just Mr. LaCory, that's also Susan Baptist and all of her amazing events and classes that she does. So all of that good information is on Recreation and Parks, Jacksonville NC. And then you can find us on Instagram and X or Twitter on CO Jacksonville. So that's for City of Jacksonville.
And actually, I'll just say that Public Safety Facebook page is for both fire and police. So
Right.
you'll find information there.
Right.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Okay, and so this is just Jacksonville Connect. And we talked about this a little bit, so just to reiterate, you can sign up at any time, and it is totally free for you to do so, and you choose what updates you want to receive. So like Beth mentioned, if you are active in the recreation classes, you can sign up for those recreation updates. If you have a child who's doing classes or something like that with us, you can sign up for that, and you know when to get phone calls about your summer camps. We don't share your information, and then you can choose how you want to get that sent to you. So you can get phone calls, you can get just a text message, you can get it through email, and you can go to our social media page and do it that way, or you can sign up for all of those. So we'll notify you however you want to be reached, and to sign up online, that's jacksonvillenc.gov/connect. Or like we mentioned, you can call City Hall, 910-938-5220.
5200.
5200, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
All right.
And that is all we have tonight. We thank you for allowing us to be here tonight. We had fun. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, we're
guys.
happy to answer any more questions you have. Thank you.
Does anyone in the group have any questions for Lisa or Kelsey? No, continue, got anything? All right, ladies, thank you so much. Fantastic presentation. Always a pleasure to spend time with you both. We're going to move on to our next item, which is open discussion. I'll turn that over to you and Michael.
So, yeah, I did have some things I wanted to talk about. Lisa put up there, let me back up for a minute and start over. Before I talk about anything, obviously I want to thank Lisa and her team for coming tonight.
Yes.
And I want to reiterate, website, Facebook, Twitter, all the other apps, Instagrams, council meetings, board meetings, special events, and 4 people. And we get frustrated from time to time, all of us do, everybody that works at the city. But at the end of the day, the reach that, the bang for our buck, that's what I like to call it, the bang for our buck for 4 people, it's a pretty good bang for your dollar. So thank you both for being here.
Thank you. Thank you. It's our pleasure.
Yeah. So what I wanted to talk about for us and for them is on April 25th. April 25th is Arbor Day. And we're going to have Arbor Day this year at Thompson, at the elementary school. I've met with the director of Thompson, and it's interesting. Jason and I will probably take a walk over there next week. We're definitely going to have Arbor Day there, but there are some challenges over there because Thompson is a lot of blacktop, a lot of asphalt. So we're going to have to really put our thinking caps on and find areas to plant some trees over there because there's going to be a challenge, but the principal, pardon?
They need it.
They do. The director over there, Miss Davis, and I had a nice meeting 2 days ago, and like I said, Jason and I'll go over there and find a spot that we're happy with, and hopefully she's happy with, and we'll move forward from there. Just know that that date is April 25th. And while we'll meet again on April 3rd, just put that date in the back of your mind. And isn't it funny that I sat there and I talked about the Facebooks and the Instagrams and all the meetings. And, you know, Arbor Day rolls around and we have this program, and what are we going to say? I'm not sure what to say. I don't know what to say. What do you mean you're going to put me up there? And we have this wonderful speech prepared for us that really we just got to read. And we can ad-lib a little bit. You know, again, these guys are who does that for us and keeps us in between the lines and makes sure we stay on time and all of those sorts of things. So just be aware of Arbor Day. Some other things I wanted to share with you is, and Lisa kind of touched on it, New Bridges paving is being done. That's awesome. Streetscape up to where they're paving has been completed by the Parks Department. So that's a good thing. We're trying to stay up with the project and make sure that the landscaping is done, and we've been able to do that. What you're going to see over the next couple of months, correct me if I'm wrong, is you're going to see, we talked a little bit about this before, this left-hand side over here in the parking lot, if you're looking at the building, we've addressed that landscaping and changed it out from what was initially done over here when City Hall was redone. And what you're going to see over the next couple of months, us begin to move across this section of City Hall. And the reason we've waited, there's been some purpose to that, is we wanted to tie it in with the streetscape. So it kind of made sense, and people wondered, well, why did you put that there? Why did you do it this way? It does complement, they will complement each other. So as we continue to move forward out here, you'll see us continue to move this way, and just be aware of that as time goes by. Just some house cleaning things. The city, and you know, we mentioned Susan's name, and we talk about having good partners, and I know tourism was brought up tonight, but the city has purchased a stage with tourism. And it's a large stage, and it's a stage like we've never owned before. We're very excited about it. Susan's staff, some of Susan's staff and some of our staff has spent 3 days getting trained on how to use the stage. So this is going to be a welcome added amenity for the city of Jacksonville. And when you have events like jamborees and whatever other events Susan has, whether they're concerts, all of those things, where in the past we've had to go out and rent stages, we're now going to have those things available in our inventory to be able to do these sorts of things. And it is a big deal, and it is a big stage.
It's a wonderful asset for having the amount of events that we have. It's a significant cost to rent those. And you're at the mercy of when they can deliver it to you. You have to make sure you're there to make sure they put it in the right place, and then they come and inspect it to make sure nothing's broken. And it's a lot involved with renting one.
Well, there is. And for us, again, we had 4 people get certified. We had 10 people probably in the class, a total of 10 between Susan and myself, because you need that many, just because you do have turnover from time to time and all of those things. But this was 3 days of 8 hours each day. Yeah. This was not, hey, here's how you do it, we'll see you later.
No,
this is a pretty intense training. Yeah, it is a liability. But there's a value in what we've purchased, and that value will be seen for years to come with the city of Jacksonville. So I wanted to make you all aware of that, because as time goes down the road, if you're at events that we do, and I know a lot of you do go to them, you're going to see that, and you're going to wonder no more. It is the city's. So I wanted to, and that's my report. My big thing was Arbor Day, April 25th.
Oh, and the other two, well, actually there is. Since the last time we were together, the city has hired 2 new assistant city attorneys. Mr. Terrence Blackman originally was the city manager of Henderson, North Carolina.
City man, assistant city manager.
Assistant city, yes, these 2 positions. And Mr. Anthony Prince. So congratulations to those gentlemen.
Great. Well, this brings us to the end of our meeting. We're not taking any official action to adjourn, so I just want to thank everyone for coming out and have a good evening and a safe drive home.
Thank you.
Thank you.